I am Warmonger Princeps Tevera of the Legio Aggravatis. We have come to be heard. So hear our voices now, and take heed. If the formation of the Adeptus Mechanicus is not approved in this session, then the Collegia Titanica will know where it stands, and we will no longer be the puppets of the Council of Terra. To your eternal shame, you have abandoned sacred Mars, homeworld of my Legio. Now you demand that my comrades forsake their worlds too, to burn undefended beneath the assaults of the traitors. If there is no Adeptus for Mars, there will be no Titans for the throne world. We will abandon the solar war and return to our own fiefdoms immediately.
This is treachery! A coup! I will see you executed for this.
This is no coup. It is the resolution of an equation. We understand the necessity of an Adeptus Mechanicus. If you do not, then you must be shown it in terms you can comprehend. The binary succession must be ended.
Oh, I'm tired of this. Let me call in the arbitrators. I will have the Martians arrested and tried for their crimes against the throne.
A deep, reverberating impact shook the floor of the chamber, swaying the long lumen sconces hanging from the dome high above. Vetherel and the Titan officers noted it well, but did not react. Another impact, stronger this time, strong enough to be felt in the shudder of the walls. The council delegates in the upper tiers began to glance around at one another in confusion, even as a further tremor shook masonry dust from the ceiling. Then, Mars's greatest voice was heard on Terra. The blast of the war horn cut through the din of the chamber, and all who heard it fell silent. The sound came from far away, but it rattled the dome all the same. The bellow was deep yet piercing, redolent of the greatest majesty of war. Another tremor followed it a few moments later. They were drawing nearer.
What is happening? Ambassador?
The Imperator Magnificum Incendius of the Legio Ignatum walks towards us. The war horn sounded again, louder, nearer, and a moment of shocked quiet descended over the chamber. Thousands were holding their breath at once, listening to the approach of the god machine. One of the most colossal engines of war ever built walked with ominous purpose towards the political heart of the Imperium. It had stepped over the defenses wrought to protect the master of mankind as if they were not there, and now strode down the wide avenues of the outer palace, driving crowds of fleeing citizens before it. Its huge weapon arms cycled up, rotary barrels the length of maglev trains, plasma accelerators that could drive a starship. The Titan's roar was so loud, it seemed as though that alone could bring the palace tumbling down. Emplacement guns were brought awkwardly to bear, having only been intended to fire outwards from the walls. The Custodian Guard and Imperial Auxilia garrisons tried to outflank it, but this was just one single engine of the Collegia Titanica, and there was currently nothing within 100 kilometers that could halt its relentless advance. Panic took hold of the council chamber. There were no windows. No one could see what was coming, yet the sound was enough. Everyone present knew of the holocaust that an Imperator Titan could unleash upon its foes. Its voice was a howl to shatter the heavens. The end was coming. There was no escape and no recourse.
Stop this! You are commanded to stop!
Who commands us? Who commands the mechanicum? Who commands the Titans? The binary succession is the product both of poor Martian logic and frightful Terran ignorance. And it may prove the death of us all. The beat of the Titan steps were the rhythm of approaching doom. Vetherel looked at Malkador. The Sigillite was watching her steadily. His face was shadowed, expressionless. He said nothing. He was letting the situation play itself out. She felt the sigillite judging her, waiting to see if, once and for all, she was prepared for what she had set in motion. Or maybe you approve. Maybe you want this too. The blast of the horn overwhelmed the screams in the chamber. People were scrambling over each other to reach the exits from the tiers, fleeing what could not be escaped, but the sound froze them in mid-flight. It was so close, it seemed to come from inside the dome and all around them all at once. The binary succession must be resolved. The Adeptus Mechanicus is the resolution. There can only be 0 or 1. There cannot be both. Otherwise, there is uncertainty. With uncertainty, can there ever truly be loyalty? And if there is no loyalty... The Titan's battle cry came one last time. One more step, and it seemed as though Magnificum Incendius would crush the dome beneath its immense armored foot. Rantal threw up his hands.
Enough!
He stumbled back to the table and sank down into his chair.
Enough!
The other High Lords nodded their agreement, looking shrunken and small beside the other men and women of the Council. Vetherel nodded to Tevera, who spoke into her voxbead.
Princeps Basanius, stand down.